In the shadows of Delhi's harem, under the thick haze of incense smoke, a scream shattered the silence. Young Layla, just 18, trembled on the cold marble floor, feeling Sultana Razia's hands, the first woman on India's throne, grip her shoulders like iron clamps. This wasn't any ordinary ritual. Razia, eyes blazing with hunger for power, whispered commands, practices that shattered the soul before touching the flesh. Helplessness burned like poison. Don't resist. This is your duty, your submission. Fear choked Layla's throat, while eunuchs stood silent in the background, knowing the price of defiance. Why did the sexual practices of India's most depraved Sultana Razia terrify even the most loyal eunuchs and nobles? Because in this harem's secret, power turned into nightmare, blending desire with degradation. Today, we uncover the censored truth about those taboos, hidden in Persian chronicles and travelers' tales, where the Sultana built an empire on broken spirits. But this is only the beginning of the horror lurking behind Delhi's walls. Subscribe to catch every shocking revelation. In the 13th century, at the heart of the Delhi Sultanate, power bloomed like a desert rose. The empire of Iltutmish stretched from the Himalayas to the Deccan, and Razia, the first woman on the throne, became legend. The warrior Sultana, sword in hand against foes, symbolized equality and strength. Muslim chronicles praised her as a just ruler who shattered male prejudices. But was that the full story? Or did glory mask a nightmare? We cut to the shadows fast. Layla, an 18-year-old from a poor Punjabi village, carried a rebellious fire. Born in a simple hut amid drought and poverty, she dreamed of freedom, escaping the chains of tradition, running toward a life unbound. Kidnapped in a raid, she landed in Delhi as war spoils. Her eyes burned with defiance. She wasn't like the others who bowed to fate. Why me, she thought. Have the gods forgotten justice? Her first clash with Razia's harem system hit like a storm. Dragged into the palace labyrinth, where air thickened with rose scent and fear, eunuchs, castrated loyalty guards, led her down corridors. "Here, you serve the Sultana," one whispered, his scarred face grim. "Resistance is treason to the Sultanate." The harem wasn't paradise, it was a control machine. At the top, Razia, absolute mistress deciding life and death. Below, hundreds of women, ranked in hierarchy, favorites near the throne, newcomers at the bottom. Eunuchs, eyes cold as steel, oversaw it all. The taboo was clear. Rebellion meant execution, as in Ibn Battuta's chronicles, describing Delhi palaces as soul traps. Persian archives from Lahore, hidden in libraries, note how Razia forged loyalty through rituals, not just prayers, but something darker. Layla shivered. In her first week, they made her kneel before tapestries of the Sultana. "Loyalty rituals," an eunuch explained. "The Sultana demands total submission." Instant psychological pressure, whispers of punishments, stares that broke wills. Razia, rumors said, wielded sexual practices not for pleasure, but to crush resistance. "She sees into your soul," they warned, "and takes what she wants." Layla clenched her fists. She dreamed of escape, but the walls closed in. Escalation came through whispers. At night, as other concubines huddled in alcoves, Layla eavesdropped. "Razia's depraved games," an old servant murmured. "Not for the weak. She turns women into shadows." Others nodded, recalling how the Sultana, draped in amber-scented silks, summoned select ones for private audiences. They returned changed, eyes vacant, spirits shattered. Persian chronicles, cited by historians like Minhaj-e-Siraj, hint that Razia, battling male aristocracy, built an army of loyalists through these dark rituals. "It's not love," one whispered. "It's a weapon?" Layla trembled. Was it true? Had the Sultana, meant to liberate women, become their tormentor? Fear grew daily. Eunuchs watched as if reading her thoughts. "Service starts in the heart," they repeated, "and the heart breaks slowly." Layla resisted. She refused food, muttered prayers to old gods. But the system was merciless. Finally, she was summoned for her first test. "Go to the inner garden," the guard ordered. "The Sultana awaits." She had no idea what lurked in the harem's secret chamber, where the real secrets unfolded. Like if myths about great female rulers piss you off. Layla stood at the threshold of the secret chamber, her heart pounding like a war drum. The cold marble walls of the Delhi Harem chilled her skin, whispering warnings in the dim light. Air hung heavy with musk and incense, thick, suffocating scents that mingled with the tang of fear sweat. An eunuch nudged her forward, gentle but firm. "Enter, novice. The Sultana awaits." Her mind raced. "I can't. This isn't me. I have to fight, escape before these shadows swallow me whole." But her feet moved, resistance melting into helplessness. What did she know of these rituals? Only whispers. Razia, the mighty Sultana, accepted no half-measures. Submission had to be total, soul laid bare like flesh under her gaze. This wing of the harem twisted like a maze of shadows. Walls tiled in blue mosaics, echoes of Persian palaces, now felt like a cage. Layla recalled her mother's tales of free Punjabi villages, winds carrying rice fields and liberty. Here, only footsteps echoing and the weight of expectation. The eunuch shut the heavy bronze doors behind her, etched with lions and roses. "Kneel," he commanded, "and wait." She dropped to her knees, stone biting into them. Inside, a storm brewed. Why me? Are the gods asleep? Resistance? Yes, that's my only weapon. But fear gnawed. The unknown lurked like a beast in the dark. The first wave of horror crept in, slow like poison tide. Sultana Razia entered without a sound, her steps soft in silks. Tall, olive-skinned like desert. Sands, her black eyes deep as an endless well. Draped in scarlet robes laced with gold, symbols of her throne seized by sword and scheme. She was a vision from Sufi chronicles penned by Baghdad's wanderers. They painted her as a warrior, Iltutmish's daughter, donning men's armor, battling Mongol hordes, reforming laws. But here, in the harem's heart, she was different. "Welcome, Layla," she said softly, her voice deep, vibrating like a lute's low string. "Today, you learned submission." The word submission hung heavy, laced with implication. Layla lifted her eyes, defiance flashing. "I'm no slave, my lady." Razia smiled, a wolf's grin. "We are all slaves to power, and you'll be mine." She approached, her perfume, amber and jasmine, enveloping like a net. Eunuchs stood in corners, faces blank, memorizing every twitch. The harem's hierarchy was ironclad. Razia at the pinnacle, like a goddess, eunuchs as castrated overseers, loyalty pure, concubines at the base, tools of statecraft. Persian archives from the era, echoed in Ibn Battuta's tales, describe it as a machine. Loyalty rituals fortified the throne, for a broken woman's will became a shield against revolt. Razia, clashing with male nobles, forged her army in the harem, loyal through fear and more. Preparation for the ritual dragged, soul-torturing. Razia ordered her veil removed, not the body, but the symbol. "Unveil yourself," she whispered. "Show what you hide in your heart." Layla felt the chill on her neck, as if nakedness began in the mind. Inner resistance screamed, "No, this isn't service. It's rape of the soul." But the Sultana's hands touched her shoulders, light yet unyielding. "Listen to my voice. Submit, and the pain fades." Commands flowed like venom. "Your will is mine, your strength for me." Psychological pressure layered on, whispers of penalties, gazes that cracked resolve. Layla thought of home, brothers fighting on fields. They'd be proud of her fight. But here, in this chamber where torches cast claw-like shadows, fear of the unknown paralyzed. What if I never return to myself? Her mind echoed. What if this ends the Layla I knew? An eunuch offered a basin of water, the purification rite. Wash your hands, Razia instructed, and forget the past. The water was icy, like tears. Layla dipped her hands, feeling resistance wane. The Sultana spoke, voice hypnotic. I was like you once. I fought my father's chains, but power demands a price. These rituals, they unite us. Lie? Sufi chronicles from the 13th century, scribed by Delhi monks, suggest Razia wielded them to control the court, sexual games not for delight, but to break enemies and seal alliances. Contemporary travelers, like Arab merchants, whispered of the harem as a prison of souls, where women lost themselves for empire's sake. The wave swelled. Layla knelt, body trembling. Incense smoke burned her nostrils, swirling like ghosts. Why am I doing this? She questioned herself. Fear of death? Is this weakness? Razia sat on cushions, too close. Her hand brushed Layla's cheek, an electric touch of power. Feel it. This is submission's start. Humiliation built, not physical, but profound, like exposing secrets. Layla wanted to scream, flee, but eunuchs loomed like statues. The system worked. They recorded each yielding, reporting loyalty. Razia bolstered her throne with these rites. A broken concubine became spy, favorite, bulwark against uprising. Resistance hurts more, the Sultana murmured. Submission liberates. Transition to the second wave plunged like an abyss. After preparation came the ritual night, the taboo's peak. The chamber dimmed, one torch illuminating a tapestry of Razia on horseback. Now, she said, voice slower, weighted with intent. The power game truly begins. Layla felt reality fracture. The domination ritual, those sexual practices, whispered in shadows, wasn't flesh alone, but soul. Razia bade her lie on silk mats, eyes locked. Look at me. Give yourself fully. Dissociation hit like a wave. Layla's world blurred, marble walls to mist, musk scent to nightmare. The Sultana whispered commands, voice hypnotic. Your will flows to me. Pain, illusion, submit, and gain strength. Elements of pain and manipulation swirled in implied dance, power games where touch blended with psychological vice, shattering boundaries. Layla sensed resistance crumble, home memories faded, replaced by void. Not me. This isn't me, she repeated inwardly, but Razia's voice filled all. Trauma from archives, censored details in Persian chronicles, like Minhaji Siraj's, depict these games as tools. The Sultana forced acts mixing pain with submission's ecstasy, so eunuchs could vouch loyalty. Contemporary travelers' accounts from Delhi spoke of women emerging as shells, broken, devoted. The peak struck like thunder. Razia leaned in, breath hot on Layla's skin. Feel my power. This is your new truth. Manipulation escalated, commands to orders, pain to psychic fire scorching the soul. Layla lost her tether, time slowed, body numbed, mind drifted into dissociation. She saw herself from outside, a limp puppet in the Sultana's grasp. Why? She screamed into the void. This isn't freedom, it's hell. But fear haunted. What if survival's only path? Eunuchs watched, noting, loyalty affirmed. Razia wielded this for the throne, the harem her secret force, broken women spying on foes, quelling revolts. Sufi chronicles from the era, tucked in Lahore manuscripts, hint at scale. Hundreds endured these rites, steeling the Sultanate against assaults. Emotions churned, despair drowned resistance, but beneath, anger smoldered. They won't break me completely, flashed in Layla's mind at the height. She tried to jerk away, whisper, "No," but words stuck. Razia chuckled low. "Good. Let that anger fuel you. For me." The manipulation's pain was everywhere, implied like a blade's shadow. Games blending. Dominance with mental chains, leaving invisible scars. Layla felt her soul crack piece by piece. From desperation, "Gods, take me from here," to rage, "She'll pay, they all will." After the peak, the chamber fell silent. Eunuchs nodded, committing to memory. Razia rose, eyes victorious. "Welcome to my fold, Layla." The girl lay gasping, world creeping back, but altered. Trauma settled like venom in veins. Share this video if the shock of Razia's harem secrets rocked you, because it's not over. The anger in Layla was just awakening. The second wave didn't fade easily. After a brief respite, as Layla caught her breath, Razia resumed the game. "Now you'll grasp the depth," she whispered. "Submission isn't end, it's beginning." Dissociation deepened. Layla felt like a spectator in her body, floating in gloom. The Sultana pressed on, toying with emotions, moments of false intimacy mixed with cutting words that wounded the soul. "Your family? Forget them. I am your family." Anger exploded in Layla, visions of escape, rebellion. "No," she cried in her mind. "I fight?" But the system gripped tight. Eunuchs handed silken cords, symbolic loyalty bonds, chaining not body, but will. Facts from the era amplified the horror. Sufi chronicles like Tabakati Nasiri detail how Razia, ascending in 1236, revamped the harem. Rituals turned tools of espionage. Women broken in these games informed on court intrigues. Contemporary travelers, like those from Kublai Khan's Chinese court, heard rumors of depraved practices. Veiled, but implied. Dominance weaving pain with allegiance to keep the empire intact. Razia held her throne 3 turbulent years thanks to it, the harem her hidden weapon against male plots. Layla battled inwardly. Each of Razia's orders sparked resistance flickers. "Feel the pain," the Sultana urged. "It makes you mine." Anger swelled, from desperate tears to fury. She's no goddess, she's a monster. In the second wave's zenith, as manipulation peaked, Layla balled her fists, a tiny defiance. Razia noticed, "Good, channel that anger at the throne's enemies." But in Layla's soul, fire blazed. This wasn't the end. Trauma scarred, but forged strength too. The harem hushed, incense smoke rising like broken spirits. Layla rose slowly, eyes damp, but resolve glimmered beneath. What next? The system never let go lightly. Layla stumbled from the chamber, legs shaking like leaves in a gale. But this wasn't her story's end. It was the gateway to grasping the nightmare scale. Razia's harem wasn't an isolated hell. It was the empire's engine, where thousands of women paid the price for one woman's throne. In the 13th century Delhi Sultanate, harems overflowed. Estimates put up to 5,000 concubines across Iltutmish's palace and successors, war prizes from conquests in Bengal and Sindh. Razia's era? Historians, drawing from Persian chronicles like Minhaji Siraj's Tabakati Nasiri, peg her personal harem at 400,500 women, a blend of Muslim, Hindu, and Persian souls collected like spoils, not for show, for control. Why? Those depraved practices, sexual domination rituals, became espionage tools and loyalty forge. Razia, locked in battle with scheming male nobles plotting her downfall, wove a web. A broken concubine whispered court secrets, betrayed vassal plans. Eunuchs, faithful as hounds, logged every submission. This one is ready to serve. It gripped the empire tight, the Sultanate sprawling millions of square miles, fending off Mongol raids thanks to the harem. Sufi chronicles from Lahore detail Razia's 1236 reforms. Rituals weren't whims, they were strategy. Women, crushed by psychic terror, turned into the throne's eyes and ears. One slip, and the realm quaked. Layla, retreating to her alcove, caught whispers from others. I went through it too. Now I spy for her. Or else, death. The scale ignited fury. Thousands of victims, not just in Delhi. Across the Sultanate, harems spread like cancer. Lahore, Multan, even frontier outposts. Rough tallies from Arab traveler accounts like Ibn Battuta's 14th century echoes, building on Razia's legacy, speak of tens of thousands snatched over decades. Many didn't survive. Disease, suicides, executions for defiance. But survivors of the rights? They oiled the machine. Razia drew power from it. Her 3-year reign, a whirlwind of turmoil, leaned on shattered souls. How could she? Layla thought, curling on her mat. This isn't one woman's perversion. It's a system devouring generations. Rage burned, from personal agony to outrage at the machine. Razia's evil wasn't outlier. It was power's core in sultanates. And the revolts? Archival records, buried in British museum manuscripts and Indian libraries, paint chaos. In 1239, after harem scandal rumors, the first uprising erupted. Bengal vassals, hearing of the Sultana's depraved games, branded her a heretic. Persian chronicles describe concubines, not fully broken, leaking secrets to rebels, the system's cruel irony. Razia crushed it, but lost allies. Other archives from Sufi hagiographies note executions, dozens of women beheaded for insufficient submission. The 1240 revolt sealed her fall, eunuchs betrayed, concubines silent. Harem scandals echoed, the sultana who ruled body and soul crumbled under her own shadows. Layla's anger swelled with each thought. Just Delhi? What about other empires? In the Ottoman realm, centuries on, sultanas like Harem spun intrigue webs, loyalty rights blending dominance and politics. Sound familiar? And today, in authoritarian shadows, where power twists souls through fear and intimacy, aren't those echoes? Rhetorical questions linger. How often does history replay these dark games, cloaking them in tradition's veil? Like modern cults or political machines in places like Washington corridors, where loyalty breaks spirits for the top dog's grip. Subtle, but systemic. Layla clenched her fists in the dark. Razia's system wasn't unique, a blueprint feeding empires on blood and tears. Fury at the setup scorched. All those sultanas and their ghosts built might on our fractures. But how much more can we take? Facts back it. Razia's era claimed hundreds directly. Historians like R.C. Majumdar estimate 300-500 ritual victims, plus thousands indirectly via wars and famine. Power's gain? A stable realm, foes terrified. The cost? Generations of ghosts. Layla stared at her alcove ceiling, shadows dancing like vengeful spirits. Anger shifted to resolve. Not for me, for all of them. And how many secrets does the history of sultanates still hide, where women ruled harsher than men? Layla lay in her alcove, night shadows dancing on the walls like ghosts of her broken sisters. Trauma seared, but beneath it, a spark ignited. She recalled that moment of resistance, not a shout, but a quiet soul revolt. In the next ritual, as Razia whispered commands, Layla shut her eyes and thought of the others. Girls from her village, concubines returning hollow-eyed. Not for me, she vowed inwardly, for them. Empathy for the victims, those nameless harem shades, became her shield. Instead of fleeing, she began whispering secrets to a trusted servant who passed word to rebels. Her testimony, buried in chronicles, fueled Razia's 1240 downfall. Layla didn't survive long. Eunuchs caught her, but her spirit endured. In empathy, she found the freedom Razia could never grasp. Censorship hides the truth about power's dark sides, but we expose it to ensure such horrors never repeat in our modern world. History warns, taboos return in new guises. Comment what you think about Razia's harem secrets. Plus, subscribe for more taboo history revelations.